the Right Honourable Colin McElreath, 27th Viscount Grantham, aged 9 years and 5 months, eldest son of, and heir apparent to, the 9th Earl of McElreath. The Right Honourable Jared Shepherdston, 22nd Earl of Westmore, aged 10 years and 3 months, eldest son of, and heir apparent to, the 4th Marquess of Shepherdston. Prologue. The French have abolished their monarchy, and there is talk of war. 6 whole days. England will have need of us soon. We are prepared. Our pact is formed. The free fellows are born. Griffen Abernathy, journal entry, 07 January 1793 A.D. Derbyshire, England. The Knights Guild School for Gentlemen. They slipped away in the dead of night. The 3 young men moved quickly, quietly, weaving their way through the rows of identical iron cots in the dormitory of the Knights Guild School for Gentlemen. 3 young gentlemen enrolled in the school, scions of the oldest and most prestigious families of England and Scotland, carried with them paper, pens and ink, sealing-wax, leftover stubs of candles, a paring-knife, a yellowed bit of newspaper printed with the seditious writings of the colonial rebel, Thomas Jefferson, for inspiration. The business they were about was serious, and their dreams of becoming England's greatest heroes were not to be taken lightly. Heroism required dedication, dedication to honour and to one's country, and dedication required sacrifice. The heroes they read about and dreamed of becoming were dashing figures, willing to forego the comforts of family and home, of wives and of children, in order to fulfil their destinies. True heroes remained free of encumbrances in order to make the ultimate sacrifice. Griffen, Colin, and Jared prepared to do likewise. There would be no more long, tearful nights filled with empty longing for the familiar comforts of home and hearth. No more waiting in vain for letters from loved ones. No more tender hearts thoughtlessly trampled by ignorant females who looked down their noses at lesser titles and dwindling fortunes, who blamed the son for his father's shortcoming, who thought more of the title than of the boy. Wrapping themselves in blankets to ward off the bitter January chill, the boys headed toward the storeroom behind the kitchen. They moved with great stealth and cunning, tiptoeing out of the dormitory, down the stairs, past the schoolrooms and the refectory, toward the vast kitchens and the little-used storeroom behind it. The candle stubs they carried barely illuminated the way, but perhaps that was just as well, for the work they were about had to remain a secret, even from the other boys. Damn! Griffen Abernathy, the 17th Viscount Abernathy, swore as his candle stub guttered and hot wax dripped onto the back of his hand. What happened? Colin McElreath, the 27th Viscount Grantham, asked in a loud whisper that bespoke his Scottish heritage. My light's gone, Griff answered. You'll have to lead the way. Quiet, both of you, Jared Shepherdston, the 22nd Earl of Westmore, warned. You're making enough noise to wake the dead, and if we get caught there'll be canings all around. We've suffered canings for lesser crimes, Colin answered, cupping his palm around the candle flame, shielding it from the draught as he changed places with Griff. Without complaint. Griff nodded at Jared. You've never minded canings before. And I don't mind them now, Jared retorted. What I mind is missing the puddings. He stared at his friends. It's bad enough that they practically starve us to death in the name of discipline, but you know that in addition to caning us, the headmaster will take away our puddings, for at least a fortnight, if not more. Jared's companions nodded. They didn't object to suffering through the painful canings Mr. Norworthy, the headmaster, administered nearly as much as the other punishment he inflicted. The founder of Knights Guild had been a military man, and the school was run accordingly. Meals were served on a strict regimen of 2 full meals per day, at breakfast and at the nooning. Breakfast consisted of porridge, tea, and toast, and the nooning meal consisted of boiled meat and vegetables. The students didn't receive an evening meal. Soldiers in the British Army were only allotted 2 meals a day, and what was good enough for His Majesty's soldiers was good enough for the boys who would grow up and replace them. Evening meals meant paying a staff to work extra hours to prepare it, and even if Knights Guild had provided another meal, it could not have compared with the meals the boys enjoyed at home. Only Saturday tea came close, and that was only because Mr. Norworthy had a voracious sweet tooth. Saturday tea was the one event the boys all looked forward to. Pastries, cakes, biscuits, and puddings served in place of the noon meal were the highlight of their existence at Knights Guild, and forfeiture of the puddings was the most effective punishment the headmaster had yet devised. Norworthy had learned long ago that growing young men never willingly gave up dessert. Griffen grinned at Colin, then at Jared. "Then we'd better not get caught." He nudged Colin in the shoulder and urged him forward in his best imitation of a Scottish burr. "Lead on, Macduff." "Mackelwreath," Colin growled. "My name's Mackelwreath, not Macduff." "I was paraphrasing Shakespeare's Macbeth," Griff told him. "A play Englishmen seem to find so fascinating," Colin smirked. "I suppose you think that because he wrote about them, Shakespeare knew all there was to know about the Scots." "Not about everyone," Griff grinned once again. "Just their mad kings." "Quiet!" Jared pushed past both of them and pinned Griffen with a look. "This was your idea," he reminded him. "Do you want to get us caught?" Griff shook his head. "Then keep quiet," Jared ordered, "or your blathering will sink us all." "It may have been my idea," Griffen defended, "but we all embraced the idea, and we all agreed to it." "That's true," Jared said, "but you thought of it because of him." He nodded toward Colin. "Because he went and got his hopes dashed and his heart trampled by a girl." "Colin can't help the fact that Esme Kelverton's father broke Colin and Esme's marriage contract because Lord Mackelwreath can't gamble worth spit." "I canna blame Sir Preston," Colin interrupted, his Scots burr thick with emotion, "for wanting the best for his daughter. And there's no doubt that with my father's ill fortune at the card tables, my prospects have dimmed. The only thing I'll inherit is a title and a mountain of debts." He took a deep breath and fought to keep from crying. "But I can't help but feel bad about Esme. We've been betrothed from the cradle. I thought she cared more about me than about my prospects." Jared let out a contemptuous snort. "You'd do better to learn it now. Nobody cares about us. We're eldest sons. We're supposed to stay alive because as long as we're breathing, the family line is safe. We're supposed to breathe, but we're not supposed to live. The only thing anyone cares about when it comes to eldest sons is their titles and prospects," Jared pronounced, staring at Colin and Griffen as he imparted the wisdom his extra year of life and his higher rank had afforded him. "And there's no use snivelling about it, because, you see, girls are the very worst sort of snobs. They have no choice. They have to marry a man with good prospects. To do anything less is to disappoint the family." He drew himself up to his full height. "Better to do as we've decided and swear off girls altogether." "That's right," Griffen chimed in. "Who needs them?" "Not us." Jared reached around Griff and gave Colin a keep-your-chin-up punch in the arm. "We're going to be the 3 greatest heroes England has ever known, and no girl is going to stop us." He smiled at the others. "Now, let's attend to what we're about. Follow me. I'll lead the way." "Go ahead," Colin grinned. "You always do, anyway." Jared led the way through the kitchens to the storeroom. He set his candle on the brick window ledge, took out the paring